My name is Spencer, and I have an update for Witchfire. They have added the Witch Mountain area, which will eventually have the final boss in it. For now, you're fighting through to the heart of the mountain, but not fighting the witch herself yet. The atmosphere feels right. It's windy and dark. There is a lot of green stones, green pulsating walls, which looks weird and a little gross. Some of these walls look like they could be doors. I don't know if they're planning to expand this area more, but I would welcome more side objectives. As a boss area, I find the Witch Mountain underwhelming. The descent into the mountain didn't surprise me with anything. It's pretty standard fighting enemies. I was hoping there would be puzzles and unique enemy types guarding the place. I haven't played many puzzle games, so I don't have great examples, but I thought there would be more than fighting enemies on the way down. There's some platforming and moving around to get places, but nothing too taxing. There are divine crystals you can collect in order to unlock shielded areas on your way down. There are not enough crystals to unlock everything in one go, so it will take multiple trips. And there are items to find behind those force fields. Some of the structures, like the big green stone, feels like something you should be able to interact with. Similar to a cursed chest in that you fight enemies and get a reward for surviving it. It's a good start, however, this needs more side objectives. It doesn't feel climactic enough. I did notice one problem on the way down inside the mountain. There is a large chasm after fighting a group of enemies that you can jump across and down. I did not get a red crystal from fighting the enemies higher up. I was confused, thought it was a bug, but I moved on. Lo and behold, as I was jumping down, there was one enemy just standing by a ledge. I killed it, the red crystal appeared, but then because it was so close to the ledge, the crystal fell into the abyss below. I was robbed of my upgrade. I wasn't recording at the time, but the devs should make sure that these crystals don't appear close to the ledges. Even if the enemy was killed at the ledge, it should appear some distance away so it doesn't fall in. To help you on your way down and in the maze, there are witch marks you can find, which grant you more damage, stamina, etc. for the rest of the level. You don't have to use them, but they do help. They're these little stones about the size of your hand. You can put them into their receptacles on either side of the portal. When you open this portal, it will stay open forever. You can even skip fighting the first group of enemies and go straight to the portal if you want. You can go right to the maze if you want. The layout for the maze is a little maze-like. High walls that you can't jump over, opening and closing doors in some cases. It's not a real maze. You can loop around to where you've already been, but mostly the path forward is clear. I'm not asking for a real maze because I think that would get frustrating. The boss fight itself is not fighting the witch, but fighting and recruiting enemies until you reach the entrance to the heart of the mountain. Summoning stones spawn enemies, but once you destroy one, it spawns units to fight for you. You can upgrade the summoners so the units they spawn are stronger. Once you've destroyed a few stones, you'll have a small army at your disposal. They can take care of themselves and hold their own without my help. They know their way through because once a stone is destroyed, they immediately move on to the next one. Your friends leave you behind all the time and will leave undefeated enemies behind. It would be nice if these recruits would group around you and follow you around instead of going off on their own. They all stick together just with each other and not you. What happens a lot is the drowned captain shows up, he's teleporting around, he's shooting at me. All my friends have moved on, but the captain is focused on me, so I have to deal with him by myself. It's not awful, but I would like the units I've recruited to stay with me. Let's talk spells. The Twin Blade spell can do two different things. What it does changes based on how much health an enemy has. On full health, it hits with a hammer and can fully stun the target. On low health, it hits with a sword and does extra damage. The Miasma Heavy spell applies decay to enemies over a wide area. Wider than I thought. I was worried the AoE might be too small. There is a thurible suspended in the air which swings for a while and then stops. Unless, of course, you shoot it before it stops, and it will refresh the timer and keep applying decay. There's a limit, but you can shoot it a few times. These spells are nice. I like them both. They look good, and they feel good to use. I did not use the shotgun Judgment as much as the Duelist pistol. I do like that shotgun. You can charge shots with it for more damage. The pistol is cool because you can slow down time, get a critical hit with it, and then your bullets do increased damage and eventually apply burn. I enjoy all the pistols. They make me feel like I'm being a gunslinger. The Fallen Prayers is something I haven't paid attention to before. I mostly forgot it was there, but I want to talk about it now. At the Vestal Flame, you can offer pieces of broken masks that you have found on various maps. Once you collect all the pieces, that binds the dead prayer's ghost to the flame. You can think of this ghost as a guardian angel. It shows up to fight for you when certain requirements are met. You can increase the number of times this can be used by spending echoes. Those can be found in chests, enemy drops, event drops, etc. The Vestal Flame menu doesn't display all the information it should. This should show how many echoes in Witchfire you have. I would suggest putting those numbers to the right of their respective buttons, since all this information is on the left. Those two numbers should be close to all that info. You can put those numbers on the top or the bottom of the screen instead. As long as that info is there, I'm happy. The Goliath Prayer will appear more than once if your health gets low enough and you have boons left. He attracts the attention of enemies, pulling them away from you and giving you a breather, which is nice. I would like to see him be more aggressive because I've watched him a few times and there are long pauses between attacks. I do feel that he should appear when your health is a little higher. I judge that I must be in single-digit HP territory. At that point, I can easily die anyway, even though I'm getting help. It's too little too late. Prayer B shows up during a calamity. He only protects sanity, does not do damage. I kind of wish he slowed enemies down if they enter the force field, or small amount of damage over time inside the force field. Maybe a heal instead of damage. It just feels like this one needs a little more. I noticed looking back at this gameplay that the Fallen Prayer does in fact kick this enemy. It doesn't look like he does damage, but the enemy does get staggered, which is not nothing. It just isn't much. The third and final prayer, for now, shows up when you fight a boss. He creates runes that float around the boss and you shoot them for damage. It's 131 damage for each rune. He sticks around for about 3 minutes, not the whole fight. I might like to see a guaranteed stagger when you shoot all 3 runes. Not a stun, where he's doing nothing for a length of time, but a little stagger, interrupt what he's doing for a second or two, just enough time to give you breathing room, reload a weapon, back up a little. I don't want this prayer to be too strong where I'm relying on him like a crutch. There's a couple more things here. There's a glitch with sniper scopes, at least in the Hermitorium, where I was testing it. Light sources behind you are reflecting and obstructing your view in the scope. Your head should be in the way when you bring your eye up to the scope, and this should block light sources from behind you. I noticed this by chance. I don't know how long it's been like this or how impactful this really is, but it shouldn't be happening. I noticed that one of the rifles called the Basilisk has surprisingly short range. This weapon has 36 meters of range when you aim down the sights. It has a scope. So why is it that the Frostbite, a different rifle with no scope, has better ADS range at 46.8 meters? It feels weird to hold a rifle with what looks like a high magnification scope and say, the one without the scope has better range. Maybe it's the wrong numbers. It happens with text in games. Words are spelled incorrectly or missing. Are these values intentional? I don't know, but I thought I would bring it up. Everything here is malleable, and I do like a lot of it. I would like to see a few things worked on. Witch Mountain can use more stuff to do overall, and the same with the maze itself. Not asking for a real maze. Some kind of puzzles or platforming to make it more interesting. Things are going well. The developer is listening to feedback. I'm feeling good about that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.